I've seen members of the ERT exit tents, and later I've seen asylum seekers come out of them tents covered in water, coughing. I've heard members of the ERT boast and brag about how they've waterboarded people, and it's never come out up until now.
So the ERT is emergency response team, is it?
That's correct, Senator. Yes.
So what is its normal duties? What's it supposed to be doing?
Its normal duties are to provide an emergency response in case of, I suppose, unrest in the centre.
You said at the beginning that that waterboarding had been reported to your supervisor. What was their response? I'm
not too sure. What they actually did after I'd reported it?
I guess what I'm saying is, what was their response to you in relation to that?
I think they took it as a jovial thing, and I don't think they took it seriously.
Who was it, if you can recall, who told you that he or she was instructed by Mr Kahika to film Senator Hanson-Young, not her car, but her private person, while she was on the island?
Member of the ERT, whose name I'm happy to provide.
You can put that on the record right here if you like. You're covered by parliamentary privilege.
Yep, okay. So, Louis Davies, he was a member of the ERT, openly sat there with me and even showed me footage on his mobile phone. And he was quite open about it, quite open about the fact that they'd filmed Senator Young, and was more than happy to show people footage that he had on his phone. Now, I've viewed that footage and firmly believe that it was Senator Young walking across the car park at the Menon Hotel and in the front door.
We continue to assist the committee in a completely transparent and factual manner and appreciate the committee's earlier recognition of this fact. You'll be aware that we have responded to a number of adverse comments raised in other submissions, and that we have provided a significant amount of material supporting our responses to questions on notice. We have provided factual evidence to the committee in contrast with generalised allegations in some other submissions, many of which are based on hearsay and rumour. I refer to my earlier comments from a previous hearing and once again ask the committee to consider any claims under the same light as they would be under any reasonable application of natural justice. A number of contentious issues have been published which we wish to address directly. Firstly, there have been some particularly disturbing allegations of torture of asylum seekers. These are rejected outright, and frankly, the evidence that I've heard is preposterous.
Last time we spoke, I asked about whether there was any footage captured in relation to the riots in 2013, and Mr Rogers, you said that there wasn't. I asked specifically about whether whether GoPros had been used during that incident, and you said they hadn't. I'd just like to know how you respond to footage which was aired on the 7:30 report last Thursday, which clearly showed a body camera footage captured during that evening.
There was many hours of footage recorded. If I can describe that time, there was a significant lead up to the incident, from when things were getting quite tense, and the footage, many of the officers who had body cameras commenced that footage. However, the incident didn't occur for several hours later. So it was, most of the footage then that was copied and passed on to the police really was from when the incident occurred several hours later, and not of the footage that had just been rolling, some time earlier.
Mr McDonald, when were you aware of the footage that was collected? And that's quite a lot of information you've just given us today. When did you become aware of that?
Sorry, that there was footage collected. I was aware that there was footage collected after that. Why
didn't you clarify Mr Rogers' evidence at the last hearing when you knew it was wrong? Yeah,
Senator, I can also only apologise. I didn't pick it up at the time, and I
was pretty clear The Hansard shows I specifically asked if anybody was wearing GoPros and whether there was any footage at all from body-worn cameras.
Yep. Senator, I can only apologise. I didn't pick it up at the time to think to correct it and stuff. But I can confirm there was numerous officers wearing body cameras and also a handy cam during the incident on the 19th of July.
You must understand, Mr McDonald, Mr Rogers, why we find it difficult to dismiss all of the other evidence that contradicts your evidence in a variety of areas when I've just found one example where it's been proven that you gave false evidence to this committee. Mr McDonald, you were aware that that was not correct, and yet it's taken me questioning you to actually get to the truth.